Returning from an extended mission, this tactical B-29 needs fuel to get home. By rendezvous radar, it electronically makes a date with a tanker 200 nautical miles away. When tanker gets the coded message, both planes, tanker and receiver, home toward each other with radio and radar, heading for a predetermined rendezvous point. When they are 9.5 miles apart, procedures require that a turn be made under timed conditions to where tanker overtakes receiver, positioning itself to the left, behind, and above. At the appointed spot in the sky, contact is made visually. Full responsibility for success of refueling is on the tanker, a standard B-29 with refueling apparatus added. Intercom between planes with only specified orders will be used by pilots. When radio silence is required, signal lights pass the word. Receiver is a standard plane with addition of refueling equipment. When his ship is in contact position, receiver pilot gives command, release sock, and receiver refueling operator activates a high-powered winch. This allows the hauling line, fitted with grapple and windsock, to feed out. When sock reaches its trailing distance of 280 feet, receiver operator notifies his pilot, ready for contact. In the tanker at the same time, tanker pilot gives command, sinker out, and tanker refueling operator releases sinker weight. When contact line pays out about 80 feet, tanker pilot is notified that both planes are ready for contact. Tanker is now flying about 100 feet behind the receiver, slightly above and to the left. Hauling line and tanker contact line are in position as both planes fly the required indicated airspeed. Tanker observer watches positioning and flashes tanker pilot when to start crossing over. Tanker makes regular formation crossover to the right side and about 20 feet inboard of receiver's left wingtip. Contact line crosses over and makes contact. As the lines touch, tanker observer reports to his pilot, who cuts power and drops astern. The lines slide and the grapnel grabs hold. On observer's report, contact established, tanker pilot orders, reel in contact line. Tanker operator on the contact winch slowly reels in both lines, and sinker and windsock are carefully drawn up toward the tanker as the grapnel keeps the lines connected. This is a far cry from the 1920 refueling method, which had Army flyers hanging from airplane wings in midair. They had to catch a 50-foot flapping fuel line with their bare hands. Then they had to insert the nozzle into the funnel opening of an extra tank and hold it in place for the entire operation. When they arrive at the tanker, the sinker, windsock, and about 6 feet of hauling line are lifted in. Planes, now connected by line, maintain positions as the hauling line is coupled into the hose nozzle. This assembly is carefully fed out of the tanker. The reel, which carries 233 feet of 2.5-inch hose, is operated by a hydraulic motor. As soon as hauling line snaps out and nozzle can be seen by receiver observer, he reports, nozzle clear. On signal to haul in hose, receiver operator winds in his line at the same speed that hose is fed out. A drogue or small parachute attached near the nozzle, when properly inflated, cuts hose oscillation as it trails in the slipstream. As hose changes direction, drogue deflates and hauling line prevents vibration. But if drogue isn't inspected and checked, it won't inflate. 99% of the time, this malfunction results in the hose bucking, collapsing, losing the nozzle, and finally aborting the operation. When drogue functions, the hose extends smoothly. Drogue deflates on the turn, and hose is purged with nitrogen to help prevent fire. Receiver operator reels in with his windlass motor on run position, and the hose is quickly drawn to the receiver. Hauling line and nozzle are pulled into the receiver coupler, which is fitted with 4 hydraulic lock fingers. They hold the nozzle tightly in the socket and open the fuel flap valve in the fuel line. When the connection is completed and the planes are now attached by hose, receiver pilot reports, ready to refuel. The tanker pilot, in turn, advises his operator to refuel. He turns on fuel valve and the refueling operation starts. To maintain this gravity feed, a 100-foot head is required. Usual refueling is 3,500 gallons. The desired features of an in-flight refueling system are simple operating techniques, ability to make quick contact, equipment with minimum drag, small space and weight requirement of added equipment, large passage for fuel flow, positive control of contact at all times. When notified his fuel gauge is fluctuating, receiver pilot reports tank full, and tanker pilot orders close fuel valve. Refueling completed, flap valve closes and finger locks release their grip. After hose is purged, tanker reports refueling completed. On the command, break contact, receiver pays out his line. Tanker reels in hose, and observer reports nozzle astern. By this time, hose and hauling line are being reeled back. As weak link and weak lines are fed out. When he sees the weak link 75 to 100 feet aft, receiver observer notifies his pilot, who repeats message, break formation. Tanker then peels off to the right, making breakaway maneuver. Thus, the weak link breaks at a safe distance. Successfully completing its mission, tanker reels in the trailing hose and starts for home base, where it will land and take on a gas load in the conventional way and await another refueling rendezvous in the sky. Thanks to air-to-air refueling, the result of Air Materiel Command research and development and Strategic Air Command significant operations, receiver continues safely on to its destination. In-flight refueling is new strength added to American air power.